Hello, and welcome to episode 25. Episode 25 of Security Dog Handler Q&A/talk. Anyone that's new, this is just somewhere to have a chat for an hour or so. You can ask me questions. There possibly will be people in the chat that can answer as much as I can. And yeah, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to need some help to get through this. It's been 5 weeks since my last one of these. Can't remember. It's been a long time since my last live. And I've had a pretty full-on last couple of days, not working, just doing a bit of sport, played golf yesterday and played football today. So I'm not going to lie, I may need some help getting through this hour in terms of conversation and that. But it always perks me up when I get to come on here and speak to you guys. So yeah, episode 25. And obviously there's lots of videos. I don't think I'm going to be able to go through all the videos since the last live. I think there was the article search training video. There was the one-off video. There was the protection lead video, controversial. There was the straight line video. There was also a kind of different one. So there was the Vratza and Zoppel video as well, which is a bit different. Hasn't got very many views, not expecting that because people don't come to my channel to see a video of my holiday. And then today was a van chat. So people may have seen van chats before. Just put the camera on whilst I'm driving back from a shift and literally just talk. And whatever comes to my mind, I'll just talk about. It's the kind of things that I think about whilst I'm driving, or it's the kind of things that sort of go through your head when you're driving to and from shift. And yeah, it's just a place just to do that. So yeah, there's been lots of videos. I think the one-off video was quite popular. That was with the castle and the sports car, or the Formula 2 car. I think the protection and safe lead, that was controversial. I won't go into it, but that went down pretty well with a lot of people. I think a lot of people realised that I wasn't telling people what to do. I was just giving them an option, or telling them what the way in which I was taught to do it through NASDO, but then giving them an option. I think a lot of people got that idea rather than me telling you what to do. The straight line video went down reasonably well. That was a patrol video, and just I think it's through experience you kind of get to learn about the dog wanting to go in certain directions, and you having to kind of work out a route to get there. Not every time is it going to be a direct route, so you maybe need to pick the safest route, maybe you need to pick the easiest route, whatever it is. But that was just a little bit about that. And like I say, yeah, so it's been quite a while since I've done one of these lives. There is a chat there if you want to put any questions, say hello, whatever you want to do. Just type anything in the chat, and if there are questions, I'll do my best to answer them. If you just want to say hello, then say hello. That's absolutely fine. So I've been back. I've done 3 shifts since I got back off holiday. Who we got? Chip King. Good evening, buddy. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I am good. A little bit tired, but other than that, I'm pretty good. Niall Evans. Evening, guys. Evening, mate. You okay? So ever since I got back off holiday, so I got back on the Saturday afternoon. I had the Sunday off, and then worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights. And obviously I get into a routine when I'm consistently working that, right, this is the hours that I sleep during this period of time. Because I was working sort of Monday to Friday morning, I would have my set hours. Now, obviously going on holiday, that disrupts it a lot. Along with, it's not really jet lag because it's only a couple of hours, the difference in Bulgaria, but but kind of like obviously changing to obviously sleeping at night and obviously being awake during the day. Monday completely messed up my sleeping. So girlfriend went to work at 7:30. I went back to sleep and woke up about 9:30, which would be 11:30 Bulgarian time, which wouldn't be too bad, obviously, if I was in Bulgaria, but I wasn't. But I woke up at 9:30 on Monday morning, tried to go back to sleep, couldn't. So had to get up and just crack on with the day. So I was up from 9:30 Monday morning until about 8, half 8 Tuesday morning. So nearly up for about 23 hours. And never really caught up with my sleep because of the lack of time I have to sleep in between shifts. So I normally get into bed somewhere around 8 o'clock, and I have to be awake by 2. So I still get a decent 6 hours. But if you lose maybe a couple of hours sleep at the start, it's very hard to obviously catch that up. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night shifts were reasonably tough, just getting back into the swing of it. But I think I've got a decent sleeping pattern back now. So by the time I come to work, I'm actually working tomorrow, aren't I? I'll be working tomorrow night, but only a short 12-hour shift. And then I'll be back for 3 15-hour shifts. But I should have a decent sleeping pattern by then. So next week should be much better. I think that's the thing about coming off holiday, is that it's sometimes very hard to come back in straight into getting the shifts and that. It'd obviously be a lot different if it was a long haul flight and there was a big jet lag. But even like them couple of hours in Bulgaria, like say waking up at 9:30, which would normally be 11:30, it just makes that little bit of difference. And obviously your end time very rarely changes, so you have to just stick out the 23 hours, and then as soon as you get back home, do what you have to with the dog and try and catch up with your sleep. But yeah, I got through the week pretty well. Last couple of days has been good. Played a bit of sport, played a bit of golf yesterday, played a bit of football, played my first friendly today. Only played about half hour just to sort of ease me into pre-season. Got a pre-season again next week, and then the season starts. So very soon. I know a lot of you guys, this is obviously a Saturday night. Recently I've been trying to do it on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Normally a Friday or a Sunday, just to get the lives in every other week. Starting September, it should be back to Wednesday, so it will be every other Wednesday again. During the off season of football, I changed my shifts about, but starting September, it should be back onto Wednesdays every other Wednesday. We do like 7 till 8 we used to do, something like that, isn't it? 7 till 8 on every other Wednesday. So hopefully it'll get back and it will be back into people's routines. I do apologise for the last couple of months that the lives have been a bit all over the place, or obviously me being away, I haven't done it. But yeah, I've just been, I changed my work pattern in order to suit my life. So I won't apologise for making my life a lot easier, but I do apologise that the lives have been a bit all over the place and that. But I'll say starting next month, they should be back to every other Wednesday again, and hopefully we'll continue doing the good work that we've been doing. I think your boss pays you too much money. You're always on holiday. I'm not always on holiday. I've had a week in Edinburgh and 2 weeks in Bulgaria. I do have, I suppose, with my work, I kind of have just under 2 weeks off. I've got 7 days left to take, but I don't want to just throw them away willy-nilly. There's a few days that I'll need to take for some golf days, and I want to save some for the Christmas break between Christmas and New Year, preferably, so that I can work maybe the bank holidays and take the other days off to have a decent Christmas break. But we'll see how that goes. It's always nice to have a plan with this, but then maybe the dog injures itself, cuts its paw or something, and the plan goes out the window. So it's nice to have a plan, but I always think it's nice to try and keep some holiday days in your back pocket just in case anyway, especially if you're someone with just one dog. I think that's quite a good idea. Don't just throw away all your holiday early on when you've only got one dog, because I'll say it only takes Cooper to maybe cut his paw or whatever it is, and then we can't go to work, and I haven't got any holiday to cover it. So I think it's quite a good thing to keep some holiday in your pocket for later on. And like I say, if you don't use the holiday, then you can take the non-bank holidays off between Christmas and New Year and have a nice little break then. So has anyone had anything going on? Anyone got any questions? Anyone got anything they want to know? Like I say, in these lives, you can ask me not personal stuff, you know what I mean, but anything about me, anything about dog handling. And like I say, this is more of a bit of a laid back kind of live thing. And yeah, Chip, have you been training? I think I'm going to be going training this coming Friday. I'm hoping to. I wanted to go. I was going to go this Friday, just gone, but my mate had a week off for his birthday and wanted to play golf, so I've done that. So hopefully, I will be going to training next week or this coming Friday. So if you are around, then I may see you there. Anyone, I know there are a fair few people. God, I know there are a fair few people that go to the same training as me that follow me. And if you want to come down and meet me, or I'm not saying that like I'm a celebrity, but if you want to come down and say hello to me, I'll be at training on Friday. I know there's been quite a few people that have said that they go to Terry, and it'd be good to meet up. So if you are one of them guys, I'll be going training this coming Friday. If you want to pop down, say hello, and do some training and that. Chip King, I have a pain, but I've been doing. I've been doing up in Birmingham, where I've been working. I'm hoping to be home for the next 6 to 8 weeks. For the first time since December, I would have actually been home. And I think that's two very different sides to dog handling. I can only do videos. I can only give my experience on obviously what I am actually experiencing, and I feel like I'm one of the very not very lucky few, but I have a site, and a lot of you will know I have a site that I've been on for a year, and I'm very consistent with my working. My working's sort of the same all the time. And I know that maybe some people get into the industry thinking, well, that's how it's going to be. And speaking to a few people when they're just starting off, they seem to be thrown around a little bit. And whether I don't really want to know if I want to say taken advantage of, but because they don't really know any better, they kind of get the jobs that the experienced dog handlers don't want to do. There is an example, but I'm not really going to. I've been speaking to someone. There is an example that I feel like they're getting taken advantage of a little bit, because they've been given sites a long way away from home, not long enough to stay over, but not short enough to warrant doing a day trip every day. And then then all they wanted to do was just do their 4 or 5 working shifts a week. That's all they wanted to do. And now they've got into a working schedule that's a lot more than that. And I personally think that they're taken a little bit of advantage of, because they are new to the industry and it is their first job. I know that if I got offered that kind of rota, I'll go and look somewhere else. But like I say, I can't really say. I'm not really going to go into specifics about the person, etc. But I think that some people do look at my videos and think that's how it's going to be, and it's not always the case. For example, Chip King has been away from home for a long time now. I kind of have the idea that not that that's a personal choice, but it's something that he doesn't dislike doing. Kind of knowing him, it's kind of something that he will do. But it is another side of dog handling, that it's not maybe just a leave home, go to work, come back home. Sometimes people do go on the road for a long time. Obviously, the start of the year is kind of winter time, and then you get into spring and then summer. Going away in sort of spring and summer obviously sounds very nice, but obviously being away for days on end during the winter time doesn't sound like my idea of fun, I must admit. Chip King, I was meant to say that I've been to dog training. You've been to dog training, obviously away from home. So, but that's fair enough. Like I say, I think there's I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Is that as long as you're getting decent dog handling training, then you don't have to have. You don't have to have ties just to one trainer. There is options where you can go and seek another go and seek another piece of advice or another opinion. Just because if you have an issue, one trainer says it can't be fixed, or if you have a problem and one trainer tries to fix it and he can't, there's no reason why you can't go and see another trainer. If I was having issues with Coop on a certain thing, and let's say Terry tried to fix it, but I didn't feel like it was getting fixed, then there'd be I don't see why there would be any problem with me just going to see someone else just to see if we can get that issue fixed. If I had no issues with Terry's training other than trying to fix that issue, then as long as I went somewhere else and got it fixed, I don't see what harm that can do. And I don't see why Terry would. I don't see why Terry would have a problem with that. Obviously, if I went somewhere else and I made the issue worse, and then I went back to him, he would then be able to say, "Look, I told you so," etc. But it's kind of the risk you have to take, and you probably have to weigh up how big the problem is and how manageable the problem is before you think about it. But I think that it is just because you are away, or just because you go to see one trainer, there's no reason why you couldn't go and see another trainer for a session or a couple of sessions or a group of sessions. And I don't think if you're a decent trainer, you shouldn't be worried about losing handlers to another trainer as long as they're getting good training. I don't feel like you should be saying that you're the only trainer that can train this person. So I'll say I think it's something that people maybe need to look at if they don't feel like they're getting the right training, or if they've got an issue that doesn't seem to be getting resolved. Go and see another trainer. Go and look on, let's say, the NASDO website. See what other trainers are in your area. Contact them. Say, look, I've got this issue. Do you mind if I just come down? With a lot of trainers, your first session might be free as well. So you might even just be able to go speak to the trainer. I mean, I'm not saying use these trainers for their free sessions, because if they're good, then use them again. But I think if you went to the trainer, you would get a feel to whether you think you and the trainer will work well together or whatever it is. And like I say, there's no trainer that should be unhappy about a handler going somewhere else to get a piece of advice or whatever it is. I think there's more than enough. There's more than enough dog handlers around the UK that trainers shouldn't be bad mouthing other good trainers, or they shouldn't be bad mouthing other handlers for going elsewhere. I don't feel like there's that much competition, and I don't feel like it's healthy. But there we go. So yeah. What else do we need to talk about? I haven't got a video coming up for next week yet. I'll be doing another video. I'll be filming a video this week for something. I'm not quite sure. If you've got in the chat, if you've got any video ideas, then let me know. If not, then I'll come up with something. There will be something that I maybe haven't done. So let me also, whilst we're looking at it, because a lot of you guys may know, I started doing a bit of the community stuff. So if you go on my YouTube channel and you go on community, when I first got it, I was quite keen, and I was putting out a question each day. And since I went away, they kind of slowed down a little bit. I mean, it's just some of the questions that they are. I asked people what license you have, and because there was a chat in the Discord. Actually, before I say anything, I did put a Discord link in the description of this video if you want to join it. There was a chat in the Discord link regarding whether a door supervisor or a security guard SIA license was best. Now, you can do security dog training with either. It all depends on what kind of job you may want to do if you don't do security dog handling. So let's say, for example, I wanted to be a bouncer. If I wasn't a security dog handler, I would need a door supervisor license. Door supervisor SIA license is for any premises. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Is a door supervisor license is for any premises that has a license to sell alcohol. I believe it is. So let's say I wanted to be a bouncer, therefore I'll get a door supervisor. If I just wanted to be a security dog handler, and that was it, or I wanted to be a security dog handler or a static, then I can just get the security guard. So there was a little bit of conversation to which one was best. Door supervisor covers you for more or less everything. Security guard obviously only covers you for being a security guard, not a bouncer, etc. So I just put that question out there just to get an idea of kind of the percentage between the two. Around 75% of people that voted had door supervisor licenses. Like I say, a lot of security dog handlers have probably been bouncers at one point and then decided to go into dogs. Probably why they've got the door supervisor license. Here's an interesting one. So, would you regard a baseball cap as uniform, PPE, or both? And I've kind of put that out there because obviously my baseball cap, is not uniform. It's not prestige uniform, but I do have it, and it's kind of uniform to me because I like to wear a baseball cap, but it's not a stipulated piece of uniform for everyone. But it is also PPE for me because when it's really hot, like when the weather's like it is now, obviously keeps the sun off your face, sun off your head, obviously keeps you cooler. It can stop you from getting sunburn. So it is kind of both to me. Some people only said that it was PPE. Some people said that it was only uniform. So I think it's very dependent. I'd say it is uniform to me because I like to wear a baseball cap. For people that don't like to wear a baseball cap, it won't be. But for me, it is also PPE because it can stop you getting sunburn. Like I say, if you're out in the sun all day, it's always good to have a baseball cap as well. An interesting one was when was your last live bite? Now, this was kind of to prove something to myself about what I've been saying, and to prove to maybe some aspiring handlers that look on this. And it was, when was your last bite? Never this year, 1 to 3 years, 4 to 7, 8+, and 90% of the votes was never. So what's that? 9 out of 10 handlers typically have never had to use their dogs in a live bite situation, and 10% was this year. Now I know at least one handler that's had one this year, and it was the bite was okay by the police in terms of the police accepted the situation, required the dog bite, etc. But it's interesting when people want to get into security dog handling and they expect it's going to be like live bites every month and it's always going to be this kind of thing. And then you put a poll out there and 90% of security dog handlers say, no, I've never had a bite. I've never got to that stage where I've needed to because the dog has been good at the standoff, etc. All the dogs will do the bite, but they've never got to that kind of that point in the situation where the dog has gone into bite. So I think it's a lot to do with how you are as a handler in terms of being able to talk to someone that you don't know and not escalate the situation, being able to keep the situation under control yourself. So a lot of it is to do with you as a handler taking control of the situation without escalating it to the point where there's going to be a confrontation. But yeah, I think there's a lot of people. There's probably some people that come in that are looking to come into security dog handling that are concerned about the amount of attacks that may be on you, or there may be concern about the safety aspect of it. And I think that just goes, that kind of backs up that it's not, I'm not going to say it's the safest job in the world. The safest job in the world is being a bed tester at Dreams or whatever it is. But it's only as dangerous as you make it. And if you can control situations and not be confrontational, there's a very good chance that you could go a long time in this job before having to use a dog on a live bite. So I think that's interesting that 9 out of 10 handlers have never had a live bite. Although they go through all the training and everything like that. And that's why I've said as well is that the standoff part of the job, the standoff part of the job for me is the most important, because that makes the trespasser make a decision. And if they decide to make the wrong decision, then obviously the confrontation starts. Where if you have a very good standoff and they have to make that decision, a lot of them, I'm not going to say all of them, a lot of them will think quite smart about it. Because at the end of the day, they're not, the people that are trespassers and that, they're not complete idiots. They have a brain, they know what pain is, and they know what danger is. So like I say, there's a lot of times that you can talk the situation out of being a confrontation, and I think it's a lot to do with you being able to control it and not be a confrontational person as a handler, because you don't want to escalate that person into making a bad decision. A question that came up in my Discord. I actually asked this in my Discord, and no one gave me a real answer. Although this one doesn't. This question goes. I was trying to work out whether sort of being a bomb sniffer dog or a dog for security protection, what was more danger? And I put, if you had a dog certified to deal with the situation, would you rather enter a room and disarm a man with a bat, enter a room and detect on live explosives? Now, that gives you a question of, do you want to walk into a room and be guaranteed a confrontation and have to disarm someone with a bat? Because someone with a bat has the ability to cause harm to you. So there is a very high risk of you getting into a confrontation and possibly getting a strike off the bat. Or enter a room with to detect on live explosives, which is basically what the bomb sniffer dogs do. And there's obviously dog handlers that decide that is the kind of route I want to go down. So although it was 100% to disarming a man with a bat, that's maybe because a lot of the people that subscribe to my channel, that's what not what my job is, but that is the most likely thing to happen in my job. So if people were interested in what I do for a job, then it's likely that they would rather go into a room and disarm a man with a bat. But I would say if you've got a good bomb sniffer dog, there's less chance of you actually being hurt in the situation compared to someone with a bat. Because, like I say, someone with a bat, I would say, is probably more dangerous than the explosives. But obviously, with the bomb explosives, there's a very high chance of death if it goes wrong. Person with a bat, probably not as much as a high chance of death if the situation went bad. So I think that was an interesting one. A lot of people said disarm a man with a bat. I kind of agree. I think I'd rather do that. But if you've got a dog that's certified to do the job and got a good bomb sniffer dog, possibly that is less likely of you walking out without getting hurt. Chip King, it's not the nicest thing in the world when you've actually had a live bite, but it's nice to know that your dog will defend you. Shadow took a massive beating last night. Is that a beating in terms of someone attacking? I don't want to. I know Shadow. He was one of the dogs that took a live bite that was okayed by the police. And I think actually talking about it is that I remember talking to him about the live bite, but I wasn't too interested about the actual situation or the actual bite itself. I was actually more thinking about the after effects on the handler, because obviously I've never had a live bite, and I kind of spoke to him about like the effects of the bite afterwards, and speaking to him, the effects of the live bite on him afterwards is that he had lots of adrenaline, obviously, and he spent a lot of time kind of shaking and things like that, where I think the adrenaline was trying to get out of his body. So just because there is a live bite, it doesn't mean that there's not a negative effect on the handler in terms of them trying to cope with that bite. So you have to, I think, if you know a handler that has gone through a live bite, I think it's always good to check up on them, because, like I say, it's quite a traumatic thing for the handler to go through, as well as the dog and obviously the person on the other end of a live bite. So I think if you know a handler that goes through a live bite, always check up on them, and that's what I was doing with him. And he said that, for probably like 5 or 6 hours, he was just replaying it over his head. The adrenaline was trying to get out of his body, and he was kind of shaking and that. Are you talking about? Yeah, I was. So yeah. Also with these these community things is that I do put some questions out there about the incident a couple of months ago. Yeah, I'm talking about that one. Also in these community things, I will throw out a few questions that may be on your NASDO or whatever it is. I'm not saying they're guaranteed to be on your NASDO, but they are questions that could possibly be in your NASDO. And it was, how often should you check your working equipment, collars, leads, muzzles, etc. It was every hour, every 6, every shift, once a week, before every use. Now, the correct answer to that is before every use. And I know a lot of people say, but you can't check it before every time you patrol. Well, you should. According to the book, I'm only going to give you the information that that comes out of the book or whatever it is, because if I tell you what I think rather than what the actual answer is, then when you go to do your NASDO and that question gets asked and you give the wrong answer, I don't want you to come back to me and say, well, you said that you think it should be this. The answer to it is before every use. So before every patrol, you should be checking the collar and the lead, make sure that they're secure, make sure they're not going to break on it. Before obviously putting the muzzle on, just make sure the muzzle's all okay, so that, and the clip and everything is okay with the muzzle. So if you let your dog off and the dog goes over to someone, that the muzzle doesn't fall off. So the correct answer to how often should you check your working equipment, it is before every use. And if you do 15 patrols, then you should be checking your lead and collar at least 15 times. Here's an interesting one. I know I keep going back to this, but I think a lot of the questions that I put in here are worth talking about. Do you wear a stab vest? Now, I wear one. And I'm not going to say that people look down at you for wearing a stab vest. I don't think people do. I think it is a personal choice. There are a lot of people that wear stab vests, but there are also a lot of people that think they don't need to wear a stab vest. And whichever one makes you feel more comfortable is fine. I like to wear one for a little bit of backup, because I think the worst thing that could happen for me is that I could go through an incident and possibly get stabbed, and I could have maybe got away without serious injury just by wearing a stab vest. So I wear the stab vest that way, that if I do get an injury, an unfortunate injury, because it's not because I wasn't wearing a stab vest, it was maybe just because I was unlucky, or they missed the vest and got a part that wasn't protected, etc. So I kind of wear it just as a peace of mind, and so that if something does happen, I can't look back and think, oh, I wish I just spent the £60-100 on a stab vest that maybe would have saved me being in X condition. But in it, there was 48% of people wear a stab vest. So obviously 52% of people don't wear stab vests. I don't know whether it should become. I don't think it can become a requirement for dog handlers to wear stab vests. So you can only put over what you feel like is best for you. And like I say, I think the way in which I put it over is that I would not want to be thinking about how I could have saved myself being in hospital by wearing a stab vest. Therefore, I wear it. And if something happens and they miss the stab vest, then that's just bad luck, you know what I mean? But at least I give myself a chance. So I'm not going to say that stab vest should definitely be part of a requirement, but I do recommend that people spend the £60-100, whatever it is, to wear one. It's obviously a lot harder this time of year where it's so hot. I would say that probably I don't wear mine straight away. I probably let it cool down a little bit, but it's never very far away from me. And if it's if someone was to walk on site, that would be the first thing that goes on before I even get out of the van. I wouldn't get out of the van until I've got that on. So yeah, like I say, it's obviously this time of year is quite hard. In the winter, it's absolutely perfect because it acts as another layer. In the winter, it's absolutely perfect because it acts as another layer and it saves you maybe having to wear a big coat. You may just be able to wear like a jumper and a jacket rather than a big coat because it is obviously it is another layer, and obviously it doesn't let all the wind through and that. Sean Barlett, I look at stab vest like a condom. Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Very, very true. Very, very true. Although it won't ruin your wallet if you keep it if you don't wear it for a long time. There is that. That was a fun question. I don't think that's worth talking about. That was just a bit of fun question. The hours question was quite interesting. So I was just kind of asking about what typically how many hours people work. There was a bigger percentage on 66 to 80 and 81 plus hours hours a week. Yeah, sorry, hours a week. So there was a bigger percentage on 66 to 80 and 81 plus hours a week than I thought it was going to be. It's 24% for 66 to 80 and 16% to 81 plus. That may be to do because I've said before about sort of wages and that, and said, look, you can earn as much money as you want to in this job as long as you're willing to maybe put the hours in. It's not going to be a job where you can work 3 days a week and earn 50 grand a year. It's not one of them. It's not one of them kinds of jobs. If you want to earn the 45,000 pound a year, it's very easy to do so. I could start tomorrow and in 12 months earn 45 grand a year, but I choose not to because I don't want to earn that amount. I do want to earn that amount of money, but I don't want to have to put that amount of hours in and be away from home for that long in order to earn that money. Now that may change. So with circumstances coming, let's say we was expecting a kid, then maybe I would because we need that extra money. But for the life that I have now, I just have I need to earn X amount per month, and that's going to be X amount, and that's going to be X amount per annum. So if I need to earn another 3, 4, 5 grand, I'll just say, right, okay, well, in order to do that, I need to work maybe 3, 4 shifts more a month. Therefore, over the course of the year, that will give me the money that I need. So it's quite easy to work out. And like I say, if there's people that need to earn, there are people that need to earn 45, 50, 55, 60 grand a year. There are people that need to earn that money. Therefore, they have to put in the 81 plus hours a week in order to do that. But maybe they are more single guys or single girls that can, like Chip said, go away for 6, 7 months and can just pitch up somewhere and they can just do that job and they can earn they can probably earn maybe 30, 35 grand over a 7-month period by just working solidly, and then go home and say, right, well, I just need to earn 10 grand, 15 grand or whatever it is for the last 6 months coming up through winter. I'm sure he doesn't do that. I'm sure he tries to earn as much money as he can so he can live the most comfortable life he can. But yeah, that is kind of an option, isn't it? But like I say, I sit in the what do I sit in? I sit in the 51 to 65 category. So that's the amount of hours I put in a week at the moment. Like I say, there could be a chance, there could be a point where that has to change, but in order to push me to do that, I would need to earn that money, if you know what I mean. There needs to be a reason for me to need to earn that money rather than having a comfortable life the way I am now and things like that. So I think that's kind of it with that. All the rest of them were kind of just sort of fun questions and things like that. So like I say, it's in that community one. I'll probably start going into that a little bit more again and just putting some questions out and maybe doing a bit more. The thing is, it's not like a quiz because like the question regarding checking your equipment, it's not like a quiz. So someone might put an answer and then they may not go back and check. So I want to put some quiz-like questions in there. And it may take a handler in the comments to say, I've looked at the manual and it says this. And then someone can put their guess in and then they can go down to the comments and have a look and see if they got it right. And I thank you, Chip, because you was the one on that question that commented the correct answer, so that people could either cheat and put that as their guess, or they could look at the comments afterwards and get the correct answer. So there shouldn't have been anyone that went away from that without knowing the right answer, because, like I say, Chip put the right answer in the comments below. And I don't discourage if there is a question like that. I don't discourage people putting the correct answer in the comments, because I'd rather someone put the correct answer in the comments and people cheat in order to get the right answer than people put the wrong answer and just walk away. So if you do see a question like that and you know the answer to it, feel free to put your answer or the correct answer in the comments. So I want to go over to kind of you guys, anyone that's watching, anyone that's in the chat, or if you're watching this video after the live stream ends. I just wanted to know from you guys, is there anything that you feel like I should be doing that maybe I'm not doing? Maybe there's certain type of video that I used to do that I don't do so much anymore. And like I say, because I want to help as many people as I can, by giving them as much information in terms of probably starting or getting into the job. I just want to know if there's anything in the chat, or if you want to write it in the comments, if you're watching this afterwards, if there's any type of video I used to do that I don't do so much anymore that you would like to see more of. I know that I've thought about trying to do, maybe bringing back the teaching my dog something playlist was good. Maybe more like that. Okay, I can look at something like that. I must admit, I'm not going to say I'm. What's the best way of putting this? I'm not going to say I'm not training my dog, and I'm not going to say that I'm bored of training my dog, but I think I've been very driven on sort of the security dog side of stuff, and some of the security dog training, that maybe me and the dog haven't spent a lot of time maybe learning some fun stuff. And I'm not saying I'm going to put videos up of me teaching the dog to walk on two legs or anything like that. But maybe I can just look at, there's a bit of fluff. Maybe I can look at doing some teaching my dog something, and maybe we can learn something, some obedience, and maybe I'll explain how I got to where I was, or the way in which I'm trying to do it, and then people can in the comments say I'm going about it the right way, or maybe you should try this, maybe this will be quicker. So yeah, maybe that's something that I can do. I'll try and teach my dog something. Is there anything that I could maybe teach him this week? What could I teach my dog this week? I'll think about it. I'll tell you what, this coming Saturday, there will be a teaching my dog something, and I will think about something that I can teach him. Wait, what do you want to learn? Nothing? All right, nothing. He doesn't want to learn anything. Okay. All right, this coming Saturday, I will do a teaching my dog something. Just got to think about what that is. How far are we in? We are 43 minutes, coming up to 44 minutes. Is everyone having a good weekend? Is the football Premier League has started, so there may be some. If you're a Tottenham or an Arsenal fan, you're very happy. If you're a Liverpool fan, you may not be so happy. But is everyone having a good weekend? It's obviously Sunday tomorrow. Some people may be working. Some people may be getting over a night out. I've actually been a little bit impressed about the amount of people we've kind of had in this live. Being a Saturday night, I tried to do it after the football, A, because I wanted to watch football, and B, I thought that the people wouldn't sign into a live whilst football's on. But I've been quite interested to see the amount of people that have clicked on a Saturday night. But yeah, like I say, hopefully they'll be back to Wednesdays as of next month. Is there a particular part of maybe being a dog handler outside shifts that people would like to see? Now, I would like to maybe do a few more videos away from work. I thought about doing one last week about taking you from the end of my shift to the beginning of the next one. So that'll be like finishing in the morning, driving home, to then what I do when I get home in terms of sorting the dog out, etc. Obviously, I'm not going to film me sleeping because I'm sure you don't really want to see that, or you'll be very bored. But then take you from kind of when I wake up the next day and taking you through getting myself ready to get out the door. Whether that's maybe something that some people want to see. I didn't do it in the end because I said to someone the other day, I have lots of ideas for videos, but sometimes committing to it, I need to think about it maybe 2, 3, 4 days before I actually do it. I think some of the videos I've not been too happy about are ones where I think about it on the Sunday and I film it on the Monday. Sometimes when I get an idea of a video on a Sunday, maybe it takes until maybe Thursday for me to film it in order to get it right or think about everything that I want to put in it. And there's still lots of times where I film the video on a Thursday and then I edit it on the Friday and I finish editing and I think I needed to put something else in here. But I think that, like I say, I had the idea of doing the end of one shift to the start of the next shift. I had that idea last week, so maybe that's something that you guys want to see. Because I think a lot of this job, a lot of this job is obviously about the security dog handling stuff and being at work, etc. But if you're like me, where you have to take the dogs home or you have to take the dog home, there's obviously stuff outside working hours that obviously you need to do in order to be prepared for the next day. It's not like being an electrician where your tools to stay in the van and they'll be there when you wake up to get in your van and go again. You have to come back. You have to make sure the dog is fed, make sure the dog is all sorted before you then go to sleep. And then obviously when you wake up, you need to make sure that the dog is ready in order to walk out. So it's not like being an electrician where your tools are going to be where you left them. Every day, that every time you wake up, the dog maybe needs something different to what he needed the day before, or maybe some days there's someone there to look after the dog while she's sleeping. Some days there's not. So I don't have someone at home to look after the dog whilst I'm sleeping. So obviously, when I get back, I have to look after the dog and make sure he's all sorted before I go to sleep, and then I have to sort him out before I go to work. It's all on me. So I think that might be a bit interesting, but obviously maybe just give some people some tips about how to prepare yourself so that if you end up running late a little bit, then you can save yourself some time in the morning instead of sitting in your bedroom on your phone for 10 minutes before going to sleep, using that 10 minutes to prepare yourself to be able to do the minimum amount when you wake up. Therefore, you can maybe just spend that 10 minutes to wake yourself up on your phone before you have to get up and start your day. So yeah, maybe that's a video idea that I'll do. Like I said, I've just promised teaching my dog something on next Saturday, but maybe the week after I'll do something about in between shifts. And like I say, I'm aiming to go training on this coming Friday, so I should get some footage. Hopefully, I should get some footage there. So maybe that will be sorted for the next few weeks as well. I was actually quite happy with. That before I went away, I managed to get 2, 3, 4 videos prepared for whilst I was away. It took a lot of work, and when I say work, I obviously use that as not the loosest term, but you know what I mean. It took a lot of working out, a lot of sorting out to make sure that I was ready in order to have them videos ready for whilst I was away. But I did like the pressure it took off me, because the week leading up to going away, I wasn't worried about, I haven't got a video I think what I've been doing recently, and whether that's for the good or the bad, recently is that I normally film the video on the Thursday for the Saturday. So I literally film Thursday, edit Friday, and then it's ready for Saturday morning. And sometimes it gets sometimes it creates quite a lot of pressure where I feel like I have to get a video ready for tomorrow to edit it. But then also what it does do is it makes me do it. Is that I try not to miss a Saturday video for people. Yes, if I go away, then I can miss some lives. I think people enjoy coming into the lives, but I don't think it's a massive part of the channel in terms of if a live is missed, it's not like the end of the world, where people got very used over the last 18 months of a video every Saturday. So if I was gonna miss something, then it would obviously be a live. But yeah, like I say, I think that I'm going to try and get back to where I was before I went away, where I can be maybe 2 or 3 weeks ahead, and go from there. But what I do hope is that if I do get 2 or 3 weeks ahead, is that I don't slack off. But that's on me, obviously, that I don't slack off and I don't do a video 1 week because I don't feel pressure. Because once I don't do one week, then the next week I don't do one then, and all of a sudden I'm back to recording on a Thursday to get up for a Saturday. So yeah, right. What are we at? We are at 51 and 30. So I'll do a couple more minutes. If anyone's got some last minute questions, then put them in the chat. I'm just going to do the last few minutes. It's been quite good. I feel like we've had a fair amount of people checking in and listening to me rabble on about whatever it is I've been rabbling on. There's been some people in the chat to say hello and talk about condoms and things like that. So I feel like it's been a well worth live. Like I say, it's been probably 4 or 5 weeks since my last one, so it's taken a while for me to warm back up to doing this. I think I started this off quite slow. And yeah, like I say, they'll be back to sort of every other week now, and I'll schedule the next one in very soon. And yeah, we'll go from there. So I'm going to leave it there then. Right, guys, I'm going to thank you all for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're new, then subscribe to watch loads more videos, get notifications when I'm going to do a live, and all that nonsense as well. So yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Make sure you like, subscribe, put some comments down, even if you tell me that I was rattling on and you think I was talking absolute nonsense. I don't mind it as long as you're commenting. So, guys, I'll see you again next time, probably a couple of weeks for the next live. And next Saturday, I've just promised there will be a teaching my dog something. So I just need to go and find something to teach my dog now. All right, guys, see you later. Thanks for watching.